All right. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to DroneDio's first ever hands-on workshop. How are you feeling today? No? Good? Like it's a bit hot outside, but the aircon's nice in here, yeah? Okay, so this is our first ever hands-on workshop. I want to thank you all for being here. I want to thank our professors as well for being here. We have a really exciting workshop planned for you guys. We're going to keep it very engaging. We have a few activities planned. We have a nice lunch planned for later as well. But I'm waffling on a bit. Let me get to the table of contents and tell you what we planned today. So, getting on with our introduction, after this, our founding members will come in and tell you all about our club and our vision for the future. And after that, we have our special guest who will be delivering an exciting lecture based on his research and expertise. Followed by this, we have one of our best sections, is the hands-on assembly portion. So in this portion, what we'll be trying to do is we'll be giving the opportunity to some of you new guys to how to, just handle a drone, a few assembly portions. We'll be even calling you guys up. It'll be lots of fun. Followed by that, we'll have an activities portion. We will be doing a few fun activities. We'll have some social media stuff going on as well. So I hope you guys really do engage with us. And yeah, then we're just gonna take a quick break for lunch. Yep, we have some delicious lunch, some of the best pizza in Wollongong. And after that, we'll be closing off with our flight demo. So we have a nice open space out here. So make sure to stick around because you guys will get to fly a drone, yeah. So without further ado, I would like to call up our President and Vice President of DroneDio onto the stage. Come on up, Mustafa. Come on up, Rayan. Come on. Applause for them. Come on. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Here you go, Mustafa.
Thank you, Nader. All right, is it audible? Yeah, perfect. All right. Assalamu alaikum and good morning, everyone. Me, from DroneDio, I would like to welcome you all. I'm really grateful that you guys are here, and really, thank you so much, everyone, for showing up. All right, so let's start with the introduction. Can you just go back? It's really inspiring to see a lot of faces who are here to discuss and engage with drones. And with that, I would like to thank our today's our guest lecturer, who is Dr. Nirmalan. Thank you so much for being here. And from here, we'll be moving on to the vision. Now, DroneDio is something that was set on a clear vision. And the vision is to become a leading entity in research and innovation. As you can see in the figure, that DroneDio is at the center. It also gives a new expectations to University of Wollongong and Australia, along with DroneDio, that it will be setting a leading technical expectations for DroneDio all over. Moving on, the purpose of DroneDio and the aim of DroneDio is that our vision is to bridge the gap between academia and industry by giving hands-on experience and knowledge to individuals and giving them experience so that they can become empowering, successful leaders and influencers. Moving on. Now, this dream of ours, of me and Rayan, didn't happen in a night. We realized that this vision of ours require a platform where we could design groundbreaking ideas, innovate through collaboration, and optimize solutions for real-world challenges. And this is when DroneDio was formed, because the literal meaning of DroneDio is, next, DroneDio, design, innovate, optimize. Now, this vision wasn't alone set by V2. So two of us were not enough. For any vision, there is always a requirement that there is a successful, helpful, hardworking team. And we would like to also introduce you to our team. Before that, I will be giving a reminder that this team was formed with a lot of hard work. They put a lot of efforts, and it required a lot of dedication. And then DroneDio was formed. Moving on, so they believed in the same vision and mission, and hence this quote comes up. The believers in their mutual kindness, compassion, and sympathy are just like one body. When one of the limbs suffers, the whole body suffers. Responds it with sleeplessness and fever. What it means that the image illustrates, and this quote illustrates, this reminder illustrates that the team was bonded and they worked together to form this vision. Now, I would be introducing you to the team and who had worked a lot behind this event to happen, and I'd like to thank the whole DroneDio team to make this event possible. So moving on to the video, this is the team. Welcome to DroneDio. My name is Mustafa. I am the president of DroneDio. I would like to introduce you to the talented team behind the mission of DroneDio. Let's meet the individuals whose skills and dedication brings the vision to life.
Hi, my name is Rayan. I'm doing my master's in engineering management and I'm the vice president of DroneDio. My name is Umair Siddiqui. I'm currently pursuing master's in telecommunication and I'm the secretary of DroneDio.
Hey, I'm Ahmad and I'm pursuing my bachelor's of IT and I'm managing that as a treasurer. Hi, I'm Shakib. I am completed Bachelor of Computer Engineering and currently the PR lead of DroneDio.
Hi, my name is Nader and I'm pursuing my bachelor's of computer engineering and I'm the technical at DroneDio. Hi, my name is Neem and I'm pursuing my master's in computer science and I'm a member of the technical team at DroneDio. Hi, my name is SUAS. I'm pursuing Masters of Cybersecurity from UW and I'm in the technical team.
Hi, my name is Twitter. I'm studying Bachelor of Computer Engineering and I'm also in the technical team.
Hey, myself personally, I'm pursuing Masters of Engineering Management and I'm the part of design team.
Hi, my name is Sandeep and I've already completed my cybersecurity from the UW and I'm the technical team.
Hi, my name is Mahim. I'm currently pursuing Bachelor's of Computer Science and in technical.
And over here is the remaining team who were unfortunately not present in the video. Anchit, Nitish, Abdullah, Mahir, and Sai. From here on, our Vice President Rayan will be introducing you to the vision.
Well, good morning everyone. Now that you have met the team, it's time we move forward with this event. But before we move forward, I would like to give another reminder for today's workshop. It says, the example of a good companion and a bad companion is that of a perfume seller and a blacksmith. The perfume seller might give you some perfume, or you might buy some from him, or at the very least, you will benefit from his pleasant fragrance. As for the blacksmith, he might burn your clothes, or at the very least, you will be exposed to his foul smoke. This reminder teaches us the importance of being with the right group or being with the right environment. And because when you work with people who are ambitious, who are dedicated to their goals, you personally evolve and grow as a person as well. So DroneDio here provides the platform to foster these collaborations. With that in mind, I like to introduce what the DroneDio has set aside for the coming future. What are our plans for the upcoming future as a club? One of the milestones is to participate in the SUAS international competition that's coming soon. And for that, I'd like to briefly introduce to the DroneDio video.
Welcome to DroneDio, a community of passionate innovators, advancing drone technology at the University of Bologna by providing a platform in research and collaboration, and bridge between industry and academy.
In just a few months, we have made remarkable progress, from successfully building our first drone to creating a roadmap for innovation. Our journey has only begun. This year, DroneDio is participating in the prestigious competition called SUAS, that is Student Unmanned Aerial System, which is in the United States. SUAS attracts over 70 teams from 12 countries, 1,000 plus students and many industry professionals and academics, with several sponsors like MacBooks. SUAS challenges include autonomous flight, obstacle avoidance, object detection, and airdrops. With your support, we can design and manufacture a cutting-edge drone to perform these basic tasks and bring home the trophy. Beyond competitions, we focus on hands-on workshops designed not only for the hundreds of engineering students at UW, but also for anyone interested in drones. These workshops help participants develop technical, sales, and marketing skills, fostering a new generation of versatile professionals while bringing our innovation ideas to life. By supporting DroneDio, you will connect directly with a diverse and highly skilled target audience, including students, industry professionals, and academics across international competitions and local university and community events. Join us in shaping the future of drone technology. Contact DroneDio today to become a part of this exciting journey. DroneDio. Design, innovate, optimize.
I hope the video has given you an idea of what a DroneDio is, like what our club stands for and what we are aiming for. Today is not all about DroneDio. I'd like to showcase the future plans that we have with the roadmap coming up. Okay, so we are here currently at 20th January. This is a January workshop that we have. In today's workshop, like Nadir has already introduced you, what we'll be going through the table of contents. Coming forward, if you're a part of us, if you're a part of DroneDio, we'll be focusing on orientation day, and we'll be showcasing to all the new students that are coming into this semester. And after that, we'll have our advanced workshop. Now, in this advanced workshop, it's going to be a drone that we have prepared for SUAS competition, and we'll be showcasing it through this workshop, inviting industry experts and students to collaborate with. And then we have in June the SUAS competition, which is one of the huge milestones for the coming 6 months. After that, we have furthermore another competitions to take participation in. And through this roadmap, by the end of this aim, all of the people who are working with DroneDio will be competent enough or credible enough to be moving on to the next phase, which is connecting with industry, because industry is looking for people who are talented and have some sort of experience, and DroneDio just provides that. So with that in mind, let's move on to the workshop. I'll hand it over to Nadir.
Okay. All right. So, getting back onto the workshop. Thank you, Rian. So, I would like to take a brief moment to thank one of the sponsors for this workshop, in Engineers Australia. Most of you must be familiar with Engineers Australia. If you would like, please sign up. There's numerous benefits for them, opportunities, and obviously, as you know, some of our members here today are already members of Engineers Australia. Yeah. So, without further ado, we're going to start with a very technical portion of our workshop. I would like to call upon Dr. Nirmalan Amarsingham. Please give a round of applause for our guest. Dr. Nirmalan is an expert in drones. He is working with Securing Antarctica's Environmental Future project, and he has a PhD research in precision agriculture. But enough about me talking about him. I will let him introduce himself and his work.
Yeah, good. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Can we start? Yeah, good. Good morning, everybody. My name is Nirmalan Amarsingham. Yeah, so actually I'm working as an associate research fellow at the University of Wollongong. Actually, I recently joined here. I have completed my PhD in Queensland University of Technology in precision agriculture and remote sensing. So I'm going to talk about some of the UAV, the drones application that are mainly used in the agriculture sector and also the environmental sector. So let's have a look. Today's my presentation mainly focus on some kind of introduction about drones and different kind of sensor, and also the different artificial intelligence techniques that I have used for my previous research works. Also, I'm going to talk about some of the case studies I have done for last 4 years of time, and finally we will have some quick discussion on limitation and future direction, how we can improve our works, something like that. Let's have one quick introduction to the next one. So you can, okay, thank you for them. But for that one, we all know that the drones are currently a very advanced tool for doing different kind of different applications, mainly in agriculture sector and environmental sector. So my research is focused on how the drones and different kind of sensor that can be used to increase the productivity in agriculture, and also how we can increase the sustainability over there in mainly in the environmental sector. So for that one, you could see some why we need the drones. We could do some crop monitoring, and also that it will increase the food security, and also we can do some different kind of mapping, and we can identify the different weeds with the help of drones, so we can do some biodiversity conservation. Also, it will be lead to that resource management as well. So compared to the traditional method of the agriculture practices and environmental management, normally it's kind of more benefit than traditional techniques. Can be more accuracy. Also, it's a very cost-effective method, and also it will increase the environmental sustainability. So let's move on that one. So this is an important part of the Minecraft lecture. So today I'm going to talk about what do you mean by the remote sensing, how the UAV and different kind of sensor, also how that artificial intelligence techniques link together to do this kind of different application in the environmental sector. We may heard about the remote sensing, the term. It's a kind of the process, it's a gathering the information, not directly physically connect with the particular object. We can use different kind of platform like a satellite, we all know. The important one is that UAVs, we are calling unmanned or the uncrewed aerial vehicle. Simply we are calling the drones. So we know that a satellite, it has some limitation, and also it has some advantage. At the same time, there's some advantage also they are in case of the unmanned aerial vehicle. So based on this one, you could see, if you consider the satellite data compared to the drone, we can get a large area of coverage, we can get big mapping with help of the satellite data. Also, we can do some long-term temporal analysis and temporal data collection using the satellite. However, it has a very limited spatial resolution because it's at a very high altitude than the drone fly normally happens. So it's got a very low resolution one. So, but in case of the aerial vehicle, the drones, we can cover only the small to large, the medium scale area, but it has a very high resolution image we can get. So this is very important for doing different kind of precision identification of different disease, different weeds or different kind of crops in the particular area. So therefore, my research work mainly focus on UAV, remote sensing and artificial intelligence techniques. So you may have the next slide. So skip 5. Okay, that's no, back. All good. So for my previous work, I have used only the commercially available drones, not a inbuilt one. So because during my PhD studies, I able to get these kind of different drones throughout my university from KUT. So we have different kind of commercially available one. You could see the Matrix 300, Across T10, M3, Mavic 3 multispectral one, and Mini 2AC maybe somebody may have in your home. That's for the entertainment purpose. Then we have another one is a Phantom 4 multispector. So each drone have different kind of capability and performance based on the requirement. If you consider this Across T10, it's a big one actually. There are T10, T20, T40s there up to now. It's mainly for doing the spot spraying. After developing different kind of precision mapping, it's called the prescription map, but we can do it, we can able to do the spot spraying over the big large area rather than applying traditionally by using the farmers. So that's the kind of drones I have used for some studies, and also there are different drones. It's called, the latest one is called Mavic 3 multispector. It's a very mini drones. It's like very small one, but it has the capability to collect visible and invisible range of lights for doing some different mapping. Also there are some Mini 2AC. It's a very small one. It's 249 grams of drones. Maybe somebody may have in your home for doing some entertainment purpose to collect some videos and other things. And another one is called, also, that's the latest one, the Phantom 4 multispector. It has different sensors. I will talk in the next slide for you. So we all know that's an electromagnetic spectrum. It's kind of, we all know that it's considered visible and invisible range of bands. We all know it's normally, consider the visible lights, it can be a red, green and blue. If you take your mobile phone, we all know that when you can take the photos, it normally consists of 3 bands. It's called red, green and blue. Normally it ranges from 400 something to 700 nanometer. So even our naked eye, we can see only that 3 color. But my plan is to, my research is focused on using beyond that image. it's called, I use some multispectral cameras and hyperspectral. So these cameras can able to capture visible and invisible range of bands. So this is very, very important for doing some precision identification of different diseases. Suppose if you consider this RGB sensor, we can simply call sensor, or the general term is called camera. So the RGB sensor has the 3 bands, we all know. Normally it ranges from 400 to 700 nanometer. There are many commercially available that RGB sensors are there. Mainly I have used CMOS P1, it's a very high resolution RGB sensor I use for different studies. There are in that the right side, you could see that some of the multispectral sensor I have used. It's a Pandan 4 multispector and Mavic 3 and also Microsoft Salton PT. It has normally 4 to 7 bands of multispectral band rather than having the 3 band. So we have some more additional bands. So it's very important for doing some different kind of applications. I will talk in the later stage. Please back. Sorry for that. Then in the opposite side, you could see some hyperspectral sensor. It's beyond this multispectral sensor. It's a very, very expensive one. If we consider this multispectral one, it's around that one. The Microsoft Salcom PT is around 15K Australian dollar. It's around. But it should, the hyperspectral one is sometime 100K. It should be a very expensive one because it has around more than 200 to 400 to even 500 bands is there. It has a very narrow bands. So we can capture more very detailed, the bands detail, the spectral information from the particular object. The object can be a weeds, so it can be a particular disease or any kind of things. So I have used this kind of sensor for my studies. So let's have next click. So the sensor, what do you mean the sensor? So this is the concept you could see in these 3 pictures. The first one you could see, if you are seeing this, suppose if you are seeing the green color of the particular leaf, what do you mean that one? Because of the sunlight, simply, so it will reflect different color. So we can, only the green color will reflect from the green color object. So we can see the green color. So that's the concept. We are using the different sensor, just attaching the drones. So you can see in this second, the middle one. So I able to distinguish 3 different kind of leaves. This can be a dead leaves. Normally we know that in either brown in color. Then stressed leaves, it can be yellowish color. We know it's a healthy leaves, normally it's a green color. So even our naked eye, we can able to identify the different color. But in some case, it's very hard to identify the particular leaves, it's a stressed leaf or the healthy one. So for that point, what we can do is, we can use different kind of multispectral sensor. We can able to capture the different bands called near-infrared, it's called NAR, and also there are another band is called red edge. It's like a bands, like a green, red, blue. The another band is called near-infrared and red edge. So you could see that different between the 3 leaves with the reflectant values of the near-infrared. It's showing the huge difference compared to the dead and healthy leaves. So based on this concept, even though in the blue, green, red there's a minor change of that things, but in case of the near-infrared band, it's showing the huge reflectance. So based on this difference between the reflectant values, we are able to identify the dead plants or the healthy plant over the diseased plant. So that's the concept I have used for my works. Okay, let's move on that one. Skip, some skips. All good. So now we'll have a look. So I have talked about what you with the remote sensing, and I talk about different drones and different sensors I have used. And now I'm going to talk about how we can integrate artificial intelligence techniques to do this kind of different mapping and something. So we may already heard about the term artificial intelligence, this kind of computer system ability to work any kind of task normally is typically done by the human. So the artificial intelligence techniques can be a different subsection. One of the subclass is called machine learning. So the machine learning is mainly focused on different statistical analysis to do some interpretation. But in case of deep learning, it's a further subset of machine learning. So it has using different neural networks, normally we are calling the convolutional neural network to do the interpretation and other things. So how we can integrate this thing with drones and sensors? You could see in this illustration, you can see able to see if you collect the UAV data using different sensors, can be RGB, can be a multispector, can be hyperspector. So what you can do is we have the input image. It can be a raster format. Then also what we had to do, we need some ground truth labeling. So because even though we are using the machine learning or the deep learning, we need the label data for training the model. We had to train the model. For train the model, we need the label data. So we need the ground truth labeling. So based on these three input features, what we can do there, we can do the interpretation and we can do the visual analysis. Skip. Okay, next. Okay. Good. So we can do some different kind of application, like we can do the yield prediction in the large area. Suppose if we have the 10 hectares of land, so what we had to do, we had to do the interpretation. What about the yield for the next season? So we can do some analysis based on different kind of drone application. Also, we can do able to identify the pest in the particular area. Suppose, think about it, if we have the large scale of area, in some places only that are different kind of pest or disease will affect. Normally in traditional techniques, what we are doing, we are applying the chemical fertilizer to the entire field, to the land. So what will happen, the most of the chemical will is apply like an excess chemical, so it will leach into the soil and it will create the environmental pollution. So based on this kind of study, what we can do is, we can be able to map where the disease are located. So what we can do, we can able to create a prescription map, then we can apply the chemicals or any kind of fertilizer on the particular area. So what we can do finally, we can reduce the environmental pollution, it will increase the sustainability. So this is kind of techniques, this is a main objective of my work. Also we can able to do some disease identification and weed detection. So next slide. So from now I'm going to talk about some of the case. I have did many case studies, but I'm going to talk about a few of the case studies I have done throughout my journey. So you could see this is a quick summary, what I have done in last 4 to 5 years of time during my PhD and my postdoc work. So we all know I have used drones, advanced sensors, and artificial intelligence techniques for doing this kind of work. So I did the works in different kind of sector. The first one is agriculture sector. Mainly I focus on sugarcane crop for doing my research work. Then I did some weed detection, mainly in coastal areas around Australia mainly. And also I did some work on extreme environment like Antarctica. Currently I'm working under the Antarctica project. It's a huge one, it's extreme environment. So even we are applying the drones and collecting the data, doing analysis, because nowadays, because of the climate change and global warming things, what we call the vegetation in Antarctic environment is completely decreasing. So we are doing some different mapping for doing some the management practices. So you could see in case of precision agriculture, I did some work like a chlorophyll estimation. Somebody may have heard about the term, the chlorophyll, because of normally the plant leaves are in the green color because of the chlorophyll. So based on this chlorophyll content, we can able to identify, we can able to estimate the amount of yield and also the health status of the plant. So I did some work on chlorophyll estimation using drones, and also I did some work on disease identification and soldier fly pest mapping in the sugarcane field. And also in the coastal area, I did some mapping of the different weeds, invasive plant species, mainly the hawkweed, bitter and tropical soda apple, and the broadleaf pepper. It's a different kind of weeds, mainly very dangerous weeds in Australia. Also, I did some other vegetation mapping in pandanus trees, a kind of tree, and also in Antarctica. It's a very minute vegetation, it's called most lichens and cyanobacteria. It's a very minute, it's a millimeter size plant, but we are doing the drone mapping and doing some intelligent techniques to able to mapping. So this is my quick summary. So let's go on this case study 1. This one I have conducted in my country in Sri Lanka, because due to the COVID-19 border closure, during my first year of my PhD, I did my research work in my country. So this is one of the study I did there using the different drones. So it's from the detection of white leaf disease. It's called one of the disease in sugarcane crop using machine learning techniques or the UAV multispectral image. So you can see normally the plant leaves are in the green color, but because of this disease of the phytoplasm of one of the microorganism, the plant leaf color change continuously. So my plan was to identify and mapping the different kind of status of the weed. So this is a processing pipeline I have done for doing this kind of tasks. I don't have more time to explain all the steps clearly, but I'm going to show quickly how I had done. So first we can do the data collection. Normally the data collection can be 2 ways. we can collect the aerial data using drones and sensor. At the same time, we need to collect some ground data because that's important for the machine learning point of view. Then also what we can do after collecting the raw data, the next stage is the pre-processing. We have to do some pre-processing techniques called auto-mosaicing and region of interest extraction, and also doing some labeling and all those things. I don't want to explain all the technical things for you. After developing the image, the pre-processed image, we need to fit into the machine learning point. So for these studies, I have used some traditional machine learning techniques, like a different models called XGBoost, random forest, decision tree, and KNN, nearest neighbor. Then after that, after training the model, I can able to do some modeling, and also I can able to do the mapping for the next step. So you can see the next image. This is a study site I have used for my work. Next. So for these studies, I have used Tangent 4 multispectral. So it has the drone has inbuilt sensor. It's called multispectral sensor with the different bands. You could see the blue, red, green, visible lights is considered RGB, also near infrared and red. It has 6 cameras. So if you capture the one photo, you're able to get the 6 band of the information of the particular object. So this is sensor I have used. Next, so this is how I have done some ground truth data collection in the field, and I did some labeling because the labeling is important for machine learning point of view. So you could see for the collecting the ground truth data collection, you're able to identify the different kind of health status of the plant, the sugarcane crops. Normally the healthy plants can be a green color leaves, and the early symptom can be a yellowish and white color, and severe plants are completely white in color. So I did some tracking the different color in the field. Then you could see in this second image, in this raster image of the RGB or the mobile phone, you can able to identify the different colors of the white and yellow and red color tag in the multispectral image. Then I did some labeling like this. It's a very time-consuming process. It takes 1 week or 1 month of time to do the labeling over the large area of size. So this is how we need the labeling. So we have raster image, it's called form of the multispectral or the RGB. Then we have the label data. Then we have to feed into artificial intelligence model to do the mapping. For the next, so this is a basic processing pipeline for the machine learning point of view. The first one is we had to load. I don't want to talk about all the technical things. We had to load the I work on the Python libraries, and I load this multispectral and also the mask. Mask means the label data, and we need to do the train and test split of the image, because after doing the model, we had to test the model, whether is it working or not. So we need to split the data into train and test, something like this, and I did something and developing the model and selecting the best model, because I trained with different kind of traditional techniques, machine learning techniques, I already mentioned, XGBoost, random forest, and many things. So finally I select the best model based on the accuracy metrics, and finally we had to do some accuracy assessment and do the prediction like this. Next. This is just a comparison of my results. I don't want to talk further. Next. So you could see, based on my machine learning model, I could able to identify different kind of weeds. So the first case of the severe disease, I able to identify it's all the areas covered by the red color. So it's called the disease plant. And the early symptom plant is like the middle part of the plant is in the yellowish color, and the border should be in the red color. And for the healthy plant, the middle in the green color. So this is how I did some the prediction with the different color. So this is a final prediction map. You can't see that. If you zoom the image, you can able to identify the disease plant and healthy and early symptom plant over this image. But in this the overall image you can't see. It's like the same color. But if you zoom it further, you can able to identify different things. So this is my first case studies I have done. So what's the next step? So based on this prediction map, we can develop the prescription map where the disease plants are here. Then we can use the spot spraying drones to do the spraying. So that's the second stage. But I did only that. My PhD work only focus on mapping and other things, not an application point of view. So the second case study is the same thing I have done for the same cameras, but I have used RGB sensor, but using object detection technique. Somebody may heard about the term object detection. Rather than going the segmentation, the first technique is I used the segmentation one. So this one I have used the object detection skip. you see here. In the first image, this is ground truth labeling. So this is a prediction of wildlife disease using object detection over the RGB image. So based on this object detection, even we can do some real-time application. We can fly the drones and we can do the real-time mapping, and in the real time we can do some spot spraying and something. Because if we go with the traditional techniques, one day we had to go to the field and we had to identify, and we had to go back to home and we had to prepare the chemicals and something, and we had to come next day and we had to do the application. But it takes time. During that period, what will happen? The disease will spread over the whole period. So we can do some real-time application using these kind of object detection techniques rather than co-segmentation. So that's the things I have done. So this third case studies focus on environmental sector, mainly on coastal regions. So focus on Bitobus is one of the dangerous weed in Australia, mainly in New South Wales area. So I did some work on GA-based multispectral, as well as I have used some hyperspectral sensor for with the stars skip. So I don't want to talk further. The same processing pipeline. The main steps are data acquisition, pre-processing, and doing some labeling and developing architecture, model architecture, finally prediction. But I have done some different kind of techniques. I use some hyperspectral sensor for doing some work. Also, I did some different kind of labeling. We all know, suppose if you do some manual labeling techniques, what will happen, I told earlier, it will take more time. It's a time-consuming process. So I have done some semi-automatic labeling techniques for doing some quick labeling using vegetation indices. So I don't have the time to talk about that things. So then these are sites I have used to do my research work for the Bitobus, mainly in the New South Wales site, in Skiama and Scott Head and many places. With the different, we can fly the drones and collect the data for the 10 hectares or 5 hectares. It's depend on the site, mainly in the coastal region. Then you could see for these studies I have used multispectors with like a sensor Ultra. It's mounted with DJI M300 commercially available drone, and also we use DJI M600. It's a big drones. I used one of the hyperspectral one. It's a specimen Apex Nano one we have used. So you could see this alongside the coastal area. We did the data collection. You can see the boxes. In that boxes we have collect the ground truth information for validating my model, whether is it working or not. So this is how we need to collect the ground sampling. Actually not wanting to collect the ground sampling, we had to collect the information of the ground. So marking some rope around the particular weed area, then we had to collect all the information about particular disease and particular weeds in that area. This is important for doing labeling and for the validation point of view. Then skip. For that one, this back, okay, cool. So for that one, you could see that I have used different models with a different sensor for identifying these kind of things. Very important finding, I found that if you use the GeoNet, that's one of the deep learning technique compared to that classical machine learning. The GeoNet is very powerful tool, powerful machine learning techniques. So I am able to identify the particular weeds in perfect manner. In that you could see the white color area, it's in a particular region, the testing area, that the particular weed is spread around 382.3 meters squared. In my model, able to identify around 342.3 meters squared of area. So I got good results for doing the management practices. So compared to that XGBoost, I got a good results on GeoNet. So this is a quick results of my work. So this is a prediction map. This is a part of the prediction map. So you see here the weeds are the particular weed, the Bitobus is spread over this red color area. This is a prediction one. So what we can do is, rather than applying the chemical or control measures over the whole coastal areas, we can apply the chemicals or any kind of management practice over these red color areas. So this can increase the sustainability of the environment. So next one, the last case studies I'm going to talk about in the extreme environment is Antarctica. Currently I'm working this project. So the same thing we are doing here, using mapping the Antarctic fragile vegetation. It's a very minute vegetation, using drones, remote sensing technique, and multispectral, hyperspectral, and artificial intelligence techniques. So this is a part of the Antarctic environment. It's around 4 hectares of land. So this is just a ground image using the phone. We took this photo. So you could skip back, okay. Sorry for that, okay. So you could see there are different kind of vegetations are there. You can't see very clearly. This can be a moss, lichens, some kind of very minute vegetation. And you could see the ice, glaciers, and rocks, water, many things are there. So we are doing some mapping where that particular vegetations are there. For the next slide, so you could see this is study site. We have selected in the Antarctic environment. Then this is same processing steps we have done for that one, data acquisition, pre-processing, labeling, and also some georeferencing thing and static analysis. For the next slide, so this is how we have done some labeling. We did some manual labeling. So for the labeling, we have used high accuracy GPS receivers. Bring that, this is handheld GPS receivers, bring into the field, and if we found that particular, with the help of expert, the moss and lichen expert, we can able to identify the particular vegetation. Then we collect the GPS points over all the classes, and based on the GPS points, we can be able to locate that points over this the orthomosaic image. That's an image, the multispectral RGB image. Then I can able to do the labeling. So for this class, we able to identify different kind of classes over the artificial intelligence techniques. It can be a healthy moss, stress moss, or the moribund. The moribund means the death moss. Also, we able to identify another vegetations called lichen and non-vegetation. So non-vegetation is considered as different rocks or soil or water, the ice, glaciers, or other things. So for next, so these are machine learning models I have used. For this study, I used XGBoost and JUNet for doing the same things. This is a final prediction made for the part of the region of interest. You could see that's actual multispectral image. So I am able to identify different vegetation over this machine learning technique. You can see here. Yeah, for next. Okay, this is a few case studies I have done for last 4 years. Then we will have a quick look on some of the limitations, but we are facing throughout these drone control studies. The first one we all know, the limited flight duration coverage using the drones, because even the commercially available drones, we can't fly the drones maybe after 30 minutes of time. We need to change the batteries. So if we go to the remote area, we may need more batteries and power sources to charge the drones and something. So that's one of the limitations of the drone studies. And also data processing. For the data processing, we will get huge amount of data. It can be if you collect the one drone data collection, it can be 1 terabyte of data we will get in the hard disk. So we had to do the processing using different kind of softwares. Some softwares is the commercially available, we need to purchase, some are open source. So there are some limitations are there. Also, another very important thing, the weather constraint. Even if we go to the field, sometimes there may be a cloudy environment, sometimes there may be a windy. So because of this reason, we can't do the flight mission perfectly. Then sensor limitation, because each sensor have each capability. If you consider the RGB one, it's no problem, so we can do. But in case of multispectral and hyperspectral, we had to do many things in the field. We had to do the calibration and many things we had to do during the before and after flight mission. So there may be some complicated things are there. Then finally, we all know the regulatory and operational challenge. The drones, we can't fly over all the place. We need to get the permission from the landowner. Also, we had to get the approval from the CASA, that Civil Aviation Australia. We had to fly the drone in the particular height. There are many tools are there to do the flight mission. So these are some limitations of doing these drone studies in Australia, not only Australia, in all over the world. For the next slide. So for this point of view, what we can do, so for that one, how we can adapt this kind of technology, mainly the cost. To avoid that one, we can getting some leasing option or using some open source tools. There are many open source softwares are there doing their own kind of pre-processing things rather than purchasing the one, and getting some technical expertise from universities and research expertise like this kind of workshop. Also very helpful for the young researchers doing this kind of research. And infrastructure availability, because if you go to the remote area in kinds of coastal environment, it's very difficult to get the infrastructure like internet and internet things. So So that's one of the things. So we may need to get some reliable internet connection. Also we may need very data storage thing because we have to store many things. So if we have these kind of things, be able to adapt to do these kind of applications in the environmental agriculture sector. Okay, cool, next. I think all. Yeah, this is my quick case studies I have done. Maybe we will have a quick discussion for maybe 5 to 10 minutes of time. Thanks for listening. Any question or anything, you can ask.
Any questions at all, guys? We have an expert here for you. Any questions ranging from the most technical to the least technical, it does not matter. We're all here to learn. So please.
I have read it very quickly because of the time limitation and something, but kind of question, yeah.
Yeah, okay. I guess we're good.
Yeah, for the next slide,
Yeah.
maybe I can do some. So suppose if we have interesting in this kind of project, we are always welcome. So we have a big team with us. So please contact me if you are happy to do this kind of real-time work with the drones. I'm definitely supporting.
I think you have a question.
Yeah,
there.
sure.
Thank you so much for the presentation. It was really beautiful. I just wanted to ask, the computer vision you utilized, and you said about the U software or something? The software you're using? The
Unit, yeah, unit.
Yeah, Unit. So is it capable of general object detections and moving on with
Yeah.
there is a competition called SUAS. You
Yeah.
just got to know about.
That's a good point. So
These kind of stuff can be utilized there as well? or-
yes, actually I can explain further for you. In case of computer vision, we consider this deep learning technique. We can do the object detection. The object detection means like a bounding boxes. Be able to do the JUNet. We can't do the object detection. We can use the segmentation, like a polygon-like structure. If you are going with the object detection, there are many open source tools are there. It's called mainly the JOLO. Maybe somebody may heard about it. There's about JOLO V5, JOLO V4, even JOLO V7, V8 are there. We can do the object detection. I did one work. I saw you that object detection using the wide-lived disease. So normally for the drone detection, I have a big team in QUT. They are working with the real-time application using the JOLO object detection point of view. If you need more detail, maybe I can help you to link with my supervisor there. The QUT, they are a big team. They have many drones, not like this. There's a big, the center is there. So you can get more detail from them. So yeah.
One more question.
Yeah, sure.
For the data collection, you were saying that you were using the hard drive for the one like size around 1 terabyte. Can we like use the cloud servers?
Yes, but we can do it. We had to spend around 1 week of time in the field. We had to collect the data. So we are storing in the two way. One is the cloud storage, but in the field, it's very hard to do the cloud storage because of the poor internet connection.
Okay.
So we are collecting in the card disk and also in the memory card, small SD card, and back to University of the home, and everything we are storing in the cloud based. Normally after processing, we are storing all the data in the cloud based system because in last 5 years, I have more than 10 or 15 hard disks with me in the home because I'm backupping all the things because I don't want to delete. Maybe I can use for the future use.
Exactly.
So that's one of the limitation, but that's importantly we have to do the proper data management. It's very important for this kind of studies. Yeah.
One more question.
Yeah.
Regarding you were saying about the power outage, like the drone are like flying for like 30 minutes.
Mm.
So if you got to an area and it took you like 30 minutes, so how are you gonna like continue that after? 30
Yeah,
minutes?
normally that we will bring more than 10 batteries. Then we charge in the home or the particular site. Maybe if you go to the agriculture field, they may have some office nearby that one. But we are doing is we charge all the batteries, around 10 batteries, and we did one data collection over the 5 or 6 hours of time. Then we stop the flight mission for 3 hours and back here and charge the batteries and doing the data collection again. So that's a
Is it
limitation.
same goes
Yeah.
for the Antarctica, because I don't think
Yeah,
there
in
is an environment so harsh you cannot
In
like stay
Antarctica
outside.
also there are some what do you call some kind of officers are there.
Okay.
We are having the huge amount of batteries. Even not a 10. We are having the even battery size is very small one like this, but we are having the 20 or 30 batteries particular for the particular field. We are doing the one data collection over the one day, back to home the night, and doing the second day mission, charging something like this.
Okay, that's great. Thank you so much.
Okay, I have one more question. It's a bit basic regarding flight testing.
Yeah.
Like, what are the factors affecting the flight time of a drone? For example, let's say there is a drone which weighs around 10 to 15 kilos. What are the possible components and factors we have to consider in order to make sure to have a higher flight time?
Yes, you are right. Mainly we have to reduce the weight of the drones. Normally the drones are lightweight, but the batteries are normally the higher weight. What we are doing is, in case of, if you are using high weight drones, sometimes we are using 25 kg drones. It's a spot spraying drones or the Mavic 3 600. We have to consider the weather mainly, because if we have a high wind area like today, definitely the flight time will reduce because of the resistance of the wind. So we may need to consider the weather factor. It's very important. Then second thing, we try to reduce the weight of the drones or the battery. So that's the important thing. If you are building the drones, try to avoid to reduce the weight. That's the important part. Mainly the battery. For that battery, nowadays some drones they are using the solar panel, solar system. So we can fly the drones based on the solar. So if you have enough solar today, so we can fly the drones for the particular time. So main thing is, my point of view, we can reduce the weight of the drones. The payload capacity is the technical term. We can reduce the payload capacity. And second thing, the weather. We can consider the weather.
Rain time is come.
Sorry, say again.
Rain time is come to fly the drone.
It's depend. Most of the drones are not capable to fly during the rainy season. Some drones are able to do the flight, but mainly the sensor, it's very sensitive to the water. So during the flight, during the rainy season, even if we collect the data, you can't get the very clear data over there doing the processing stage, because it can be a blur, it can be very low quality data. So we spend a lot of time in the field, but we got a very poor quality data. So we try to avoid the extreme climate environment for during the data collection, because to get the more high resolution image, because we are working with very minute disease, not like a big trees. So we need very high resolution image. So we are maintaining that proper environmental condition for doing the data collection.
Just one more question regarding the softwares that are used for designing the models of drones, and like what do you suggest should be the most feasible like CAD modeling software, and followed by consecutive simulations? Like, is it ANSYS or is it?
Really sorry for that, because my study is mainly focused on using the commercially available drones, not the building drones. So I don't have most expertise on building drones. So definitely I will help you if you need more detail. I will link with my supervisor, Professor. They are in QT, so they will guide you if you need more idea from them. Yeah, we have a big team there. Sorry for that. Yeah.
All right. Any other questions if you have regarding basic drones? It can be as witty or as technical as you like. No questions?
Okay.
Everyone have understood the lecture?
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Everybody, please give a round of applause for Dr. Nirmala. And Dr. Nirmala, before you go, we have a small token of appreciation for you. Mustafa, can you come up and please present him with our small token of appreciation for your time?
Thank you.
He's a busy man with a lot of work, so we really appreciate him coming to deliver this lecture for us.
Sorry, we couldn't arrange something. We just got a book
Okay.
last
Just
moment.
let you know.
Just come forward.
Small pity.
Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you. And once again, please a round of applause for Dr. Nirmala. Okay, so DroneDio is obviously starting up a student club. We want to incorporate content for everybody. So that would be people who already have a high level of drone knowledge and people who are just starting out. So because we were short on time, we had Dr. Nirmala give his lecture first to show you, some of the high level things. But now we're going to take it back a little bit. We're going to start from the ground up, right? Just so that people who are new to drones get to understand, what they are and how we build them from, the ground up, the foundation. So, and before we get to that, we've distributed some sheets for you guys. You might see some QR codes on your tables. One of them is just a brochure for our club, and the other one is to join us. So you can just scan those, and we really appreciate it. Furthermore, we also have a learning sheet on your table. So whatever you know about drones right now, you can just jot that down. And then by the end, we'll ask you to write in that again, just so you know that, just to illustrate what you've learned after this workshop. Yeah. Yeah, we're just going to give you the distribution. That's okay. Yeah. Thank you so much.
All the best for you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
If you need anything, I can do anything.
Yeah, we might. I think we will do.
We are working with students mapping the different things for the real-time environment, detecting the dead person in the tree, and detecting the fire extinguisher and many things in the field. So maybe I can definitely
Yeah, we definitely
email me or
Sure. Thank you so much.
maybe this one.
Yeah, you're right.
Really appreciate your time. Really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So has everybody written down something on the worksheet? If you need some more time, just give you 2 more minutes, and then we'll kick this off. Point someone out. There you are. Yeah. Huh? What? Flies. Yeah, I mean, I guess it does fly, yeah? Drones can fly. Anybody else? That's a good one. Yeah? What do you guys know about drones? How about the man in the blue shirt? What do you think? Yeah, they have a lot of good uses, yeah. What about you guys over there? Anybody from there? Yeah, definitely. One of its most, most used features, yeah, because you can cover large areas. Okay, that's cool. So, kicking things off, you might have seen, drones used for entertainment purposes. Like, who's been to Vivid Sydney, yeah? Vivid Sydney's pretty cool. You have a lot of drone coordination going on for branding. You have it for, just putting on a spectacular show for everybody. You also can go towards, more technical things, such as, spotting sharks in the waters. It can be used for the most detailed things to the most minute things, but it all begins with the foundations. So, before we start, I would like to say that obviously we want to incorporate everybody, and this is a hands-on workshop, so what we want to do is we're going to be introducing you to how we made our drone, and we'll be calling some of you guys up to actually interact and take part in some of the things we did to assemble our drone, which is right here. So, to begin, I would like to call my co-host Omer, who will teach you about our drone. Come here.
Thank you, Nader. Everyone can hear me? All right. So before we begin, just a single question: How many have like experience with drones, like building drone or drone flight, or even in the video games? You can raise your hands.
I have no experience.
That's all right.
That's all right.
Even in video games, you must have flown a drone in a video game, no? Somewhere?
GTA.
Watch Dogs, GTA, somewhere. Yeah.
All right. No worries. After today's workshop, I hope like most of you guys are gonna like raise your hand for the next workshops. All right. So a small video first. It's a team effort to build a single drone. Well, we have already talked about most of the advanced drone, but it is like not impossible to build that drone. But to be mastered anything, you have to start down with the basics. And it took us like a few days to build this drone. And like being part in this club, we like more emphasize on teamwork. So with the teamwork, this is a blooper I'm going to show you next, guys. So we also face a lot of hurdles, but when we are working in a team, we learn a lot. So one of the few hurdles, and it's hilarious. It was kept broken because all the propellers, they were like flying in a single direction. That's why it cannot take off, and the wing, it was completely broken all the time. And it took us like a lot of tries before we figured out what was the problem and solve. And at the final result, it was flying. So these are the basic or the core components that we use to build our drone. So I'll be handing out these components to you guys so you can just have a look. The frame, motor, ESC, flight controllers, we use Pixhawk, and the power distribution board. So for the frame, it came up with the screws, mounts, propellers, and the landing gear. The motor also comes with the screws, wirings, and the bearings. The electronic speed controller are the things that have the most effect or the most use for the quadcopter here. Because if we are using any other copter like a tricopter or any other copter or a one wing, you don't have ESCs on it. You have to use the, commuters and the brush motors, and it is not easy for you to like make many maneuvers. And for our drone, this one, the base of the drone, it was edged with the power distribution board, so we don't need the separate power distribution board to fix in it. So we've already given out and hand out the power distribution board, so you can just have a look over there. Can you please change the slide? So this is a systematic overview. Like we can use it as a visual representation, how the connections are going to, like which part is connected to which part, and we can use it to troubleshoot or design a new blueprint. This is just an example. We don't use this systematic overview. Can you please just change it? So for the quadcopter frame, as you can see, this is the frame we use for the quad cop. Basically, what's the job of the quad cop frame is just to it act as a backbone and holds all the components in it. Can you please?
Sorry, just a small interruption there. One of our honored guests, the professor, will be leaving soon, so we wanted to give him a little round of applause and a thank you for showing up for our workshop.
I think I know quite a few of you guys who do electronics.
The professor can start the lecture if you want.
Yeah, but I'm very glad to see this kind of student-driven activity actually happening. I hope you guys actually being successful in the future competition.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. All right, thank you.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so much. All right, continue. Can you please next slide? Power distribution board. What's the job of the power distribution board? It acts as a power hub. As it distributes, it gets the power. I think we've already shared the power distribution board over there, right? Yeah. So, power distribution board, as the name implies, it just gets the power from the battery and distribute the power as the component required that what amount of power that it needs. Can you please? Yeah. And there's a small activity. We would like to welcome 2 of the volunteers to perform a small soldering for the power board.
Who here has done a little bit of soldering before? Anybody?
Yeah.
Anybody? Yeah, you've done soldering? Anybody who hasn't done it yet? Okay, we'll have you come up. A little round of applause for our volunteers. What we're going to do is we're going to give them a little bit of an activity to solder something on the power distribution board. This will of course be an assisted activity because the soldering iron does get hot. So we wanted you to actually get your hands on the components so that you know that it's not so difficult to do. So those of you who've already done soldering before, you know it's not that difficult, it's just a matter of getting things done. So come on over here, Where's that power distribution board right now? It's right here, come on, we get it.
Although it's just a basic thing, but we must follow some of the safety precautions even for the soldering.
Thank you very much. Right, so just be doing a little assistive soldering here. Come on over here. Guys, it's as simple as that. So what you're going to be doing for me is we're going to be.
Can you bring the table over here?
Yeah. There's an ESC over there. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be attaching an electronic speed controller to our power distribution board, right?
Yes.
You can also get
Yeah. ESC onto the power distribution board, right? So, guys, no, you guys come this way, So could I just get Omer here?
Yep.
Omer, could you come up? So this is a soldering iron. So for everybody who's already familiar with it, you know that the tip of the soldering iron is very hot, so you don't want to be putting your hand there. You want to keep your hands here. And ideally, you want to be doing this in a laboratory, and you want to be doing it with like a sponge nearby and all the personal protective equipment required, right? But we are experts here, and we're going to be assisting these guys, so this will be easy as that. So I want you to just hold the soldering iron from here, like just like you would a pen, right? And this is mount. Don't worry about it. I'm just going to be putting this on. Oh, sorry. I assume this was already on, but it's not primed yet, but it's going to be soon. So how does this work? We're going to be essentially gluing it together, right? So this is we'll be soldering it is the word I should say, but you know. So this is like our soldering wire. We're going to be using this and heating it up with the iron and then essentially attaching it to the board, yeah? So come on over. So yeah, just have a look, Amir. Yeah, just gonna test. He's just gonna test a few things out for you, just to make sure things are ready to go.
You still need a little time.
Just a little time.
Yeah.
Because when you turn on the soldering iron, it gets really hot, so it's gonna take time to build up first.
Yeah, it's gonna get like around 400 centigrade something.
There we go.
No, just a little bit more.
Just a little more. So in the labs, you can also control the temperature. You'd have like the box there to control your temperatures. You'll have a box to basically, you know, control every aspect of the iron. This one is one of the more basic, because when you do it, a little bit of heat comes out, a little bit of smoke comes out, and it's better if you have an extractor when you're doing long, you know, doing many connections. This is just going to be one simple connection, so it poses no danger.
I think it's almost ready.
Oh, it's almost ready. Omer is just getting that done for us. Yeah, so just a little quick overview of the power distribution board. This
Yes,
is one of the simpler ones. On our drone, the entire central frame, the base is the power distribution board. But this is an external one, right? The most simple one you can get. A battery hooks up in here and then just distributes it to all the components of the drone
You
nest.
could even use the multimeter to check the connectivity.
Yeah, we can even use multimeters to check the connectivity. We have a multimeter here. Who here has seen a multimeter before? Yeah, who's used a multimeter before? Yeah, many of our engineers have used a multimeter before. It's the most handy tool you can get. Okay, let me just put it on.
And the fun part.
Yeah, fun part. Let me just put this out. Take this out.
The fun
See
part.
that? Yeah, the fun part. You get a little beep, 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 beep. So this means that it's ready to test the connections. Yeah, wherever there's connectivity. So as you can see, there's parts of a power distribution board that are connected. See, if I do it here, 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 all of these are connected together, right? So it's showing you that it's distributing power throughout. So, are we ready, Umer?
Yep, it's ready.
We're ready to go. Okay, so guys, come on up, come closer. So, what I
Should
want
I do
you
the first one? Or?
no. We'll let him handle the iron. And as again, you will handle it like a pen from
Exactly.
there. Yeah. So, and you, I will be
Some-
getting
has
you.
some sort of-
Yeah. We'll let Umair feed this to you. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah. All you're going to do is he's just going to put the wire up and he's going to feed the solder wire into it, and the soldering iron is just going to melt the solder onto it. See a little bit of it there, and yeah. Simple as that, a connection is made. Yeah.
I know.
And now let's get our second verti to do the other connection.
Hold it like a pen.
Should go from
No, from the
to
top.
the whole.
No, it doesn't have. It doesn't matter like that.
Yeah. Just make sure you do not touch the metallic part
Yes.
of this. There you go. And he's just gonna, yeah, there you go. He's just gonna feed it into this. Simple as that. Else want to try? Does anybody else want to try just for the fun of it? Anybody? How about you guys? Do you guys want to try it out?
I want to try.
Yeah, Rui also must try. One of you guys, come on up. Come on up. Come on up.
We can bring more ESCs.
Guys, a round of applause for these guys. Are year 12 students taking such an interest really early on. It's great to see. Come on up, guys. Come on up.
Have you done soldering before?
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. I'll feed you.
Hardware as well.
Because we need, yeah. Just touch it like a bit and I'll feed you some solder.
Yeah.
Just over here, that's fine.
Yeah. So all you have to do is bring that close to the soldering wire.
Yeah, just give me a sec. Over here.
Yeah.
If it's easy for you. Alright.
There we go.
Try to touch it on the base. Yes.
There we go. You can think of it as a little bit like
Just
drawing,
move it.
in fact.
Just like you move it, you can just move it. It's done, I think. Done.
And there we go. Wasn't that simple?
Anyone else want to do?
Yes.
Okay, come on. Do you also want to do it? Yeah. Come on up. It's simple.
So, you want to do first?
Yeah, sure.
Alright, hold it like a pen. Just don't touch this part.
Yeah.
Super hot.
There we go.
So then, alright, I'll feed you some. You can use over here.
Yeah.
Or just like touch it on the base.
Yeah.
I'm worried that it's too close to you. Sorry.
Is it fine?
Yeah.
Yeah. Alright.
So when we were making our own DIY drone ride, we had to make lots of soldering connections to not only the power distribution board, but onto like our motors as well. So different connectors like bullet connectors or just even just the raw wires of the battery. We'd have to solder it on to make sure that everything is secure and connected properly. So
No,
it's a
just
combination
touch the
of
base. Just
using
touch-
our
touch the base of
multimeter
the
and our solder to make sure everything is in the right place.
Yeah, a little bit more. Can you just remove it?
There you go.
That's it.
That's good. Wow, that's a very clean solder. Nice.
I didn't
Oh.
solve. That's
Uh-oh.
alright. That's alright. That's alright.
Sorry.
Yeah.
How much temperature does the board sustain?
The board can sustain quite a bit of temperature. It's designed to be soldered onto, so you don't have to worry about that. The only thing you might have to worry about is, like, for example, let's say you have an integrated circuit already onto the board, right? That may have a different temperature threshold. So if you solder near it, it might move on with our presentation. So does anybody else want to have a go? All right, you. So you just sit down over there for me. At DroneDio, we want to make sure that everybody has a hand in making our drone, and we want to be able to give you guys the skills to do so, right? So from the smallest things to the larger things, like soldering and everything, or to the more high-level skills like in programming, computer vision, we want to be able to get there. It's all about your interest.
So you can actually solder the panel and solder the wire separately, and then put it on together as one?
Yeah, we can do that. You can think of it a bit like Legos. You can have it separate, you can solder that on, then you can put it back on later. Yeah, whatever is more convenient for your build, to be honest. Yeah.
Okay.
Remove it.
And use the side of the solder or the point?
The point. You can use the side a bit too, but it won't be as accurate because you just want to get right into where you're feeding in the soldering wire. It's easier if you use just the point of it like a pen.
Wire को नहीं अपनी base को करना है बस. That's it. हटा दो. हो गया. Very good.
Okay. Yes, we actually have heaps of time. So can we have one more volunteer? Would you like to actually have a hand on this? Come on. So you haven't soldered before?
No.
Awesome. Then let's give it a try. You seem so interested. I thought you were an expert. You will be after this.
I don't know about that.
All right.
Touch it on the base first. Yeah.
So yeah, so a bit of safety up here. This is
On
the
the base
most
of the board.
ideal way
Yeah.
to keep safe
Just put
during
the
soldering.
wire-
So
the
obviously
wire
all of UW's labs are fitted with everything you need. For quick, with the people who can do it really quickly and are experts at it like me and Omer and most of the DroneDio team, you can skip the portions that aren't you don't need the goggles if you're doing just quick solders. If you're doing it for a long time, I highly recommend that you have goggles and a fume extractor. Those are important for long periods of time when you're soldering something on.
A little bit again. Remove the wire. Remove that. Done.
And that's it.
Yeah.
We can clean solder. Anybody else? Anybody
You
else?
can come here, brother. It will be easy for both of us.
Anybody else? No need to be shy. Oh yeah, that's the way. Come on in, have a seat.
Yes.
And this is just one part of our hands-on workshop. We have a few other activities as well. For those of you already like, I've done soldering, I'm a little bored of it. Don't worry. We have a few other things that will be pretty cool to try.
On the solder first. On the solder, then on. Put it on the board. First on the solder, so you can get a little bit of solder first, then on the base. Is it not working? Just give me a sec. I'll just put it like this. It'll be more easy for you. You are not connecting the solder to the wire.
On this,
Feed the solder on the top of the wire.
This one, right?
I think it's
on
stuck.
the other way you're holding it. There you go.
It's stuck.
There you go.
Just give me 1 second. I'll just unstuck this thing first. Like
Yeah.
this. Alright, now I can put this thing. I'll come over there.
Yeah, you come from that side.
Alright, I'll sit down and I'll just feed you the wire. Alright? Just put a little bit over here first, iron, then on the wire.
First on the wire, right?
First on this wire, this solder wire. So you can collect some of the solders now on the wire. On this wire, yeah. A little bit more. On the wire.
it down for you.
I think that's it.
That is it. There you go.
No.
Yeah.
It's that simple and easy.
It takes a bit to get them more clean. When you start off, you use a lot more solder than expected.
So what's the best technique if you're doing it by yourself, between the board, the wire and the solder?
So if you're doing it by yourself, right, there's a couple of ways you can do it depending on what you're working with. If you're working with something like this, the technique would be that you would lay this down here, you'd hold this on one end with your just like how you'd hold a pen. And then while this would be lying here, you just feed this wire into it as you solder on. However, if this is not sticking onto it, what you usually have on the stand are like a couple of clamps. They'll hold either your board up or they'll hold whatever you're soldering on up. That whole setup comes with like just a stand, a light, and a fume extractor, and all of that aids in that soldering business. Sometimes you also use something we call like a flux that also aids in the solder just sticking onto this, because sometimes you see that, okay, you're heating it up in some place, but it's just not getting onto the wire on the board. Sometimes you might add that on. So there's a few extra things you can get into, but the gist of it is you can just do it this way. So the more like advanced soldering and like the more cleaner you want it, you can get all of those things involved.
I have seen blue tack being put under the board and then do it that way.
Yeah, you can also do that. I mean, like if whatever you have on hand to stabilize it is the best, right? Like ideally you'd want a clamp or something, but obviously you can just stick it onto something and then you can solder it on, then you can take off the blue tack. There's many ways you could go about it.
Usually what I do, I just take some solder, put it on the base first, then I stick the wire because it already has some solder. So I'm just going to heat it, it's already melted. So it will stick easily if I'm doing it alone. If I don't have any help.
It's a bit of a dexterous skill.
Yeah.
Because, so when you get good at it, you can literally just, you don't need that much assistance with the clamps and everything anymore. You could just quickly get it done.
All right.
But that comes with obviously practice and time. Just how with welding, you take some while to get used to the proper techniques and things like that. Yeah. Although this is to a lesser degree, it's not as complicated as welding, I'd say.
So to have the board at the right temperature is the success to your soldering, yeah?
The success to the soldering is having the iron at the right temperature for the solder to melt. Because the wire you're feeding in needs to melt onto the wire that's on the board, and then you move the iron away so that that dries up and then adheses the wire onto the board. Does that make sense? Yeah. So, because you're melting the wire onto all of this so that then when you move the iron away, it just is stuck there.
Anyone who is left, want to try? Yeah, come here, Brad. Have you done it before? All right. Hold it like a pen. Yes. Right.
And yeah, like someone mentioned that, isn't the board damaged by all this high temperature? It may or may not be, it depends. Like it really depends, like if you have a little circuit, an IC on it, an IC is just an integrated circuit, like a little chip. If you have a chip already soldered on somewhere, you have to be careful about bringing the soldering iron near it because it might damage the semiconductors on it. So for that, you might need to do something different. And now, what do we do for like very tiny chips? Like for the really tiny chips, what you actually do is you use fine tools to put on solder like a little paste, and you actually put it in a little oven. You put it in a little oven and then it melts that, and then it has a nice clean solder. So if you look up how SMD chips are installed, that's how that works. So this one is like, we are dealing with big wires, so we don't need to do that here. Okay, so we've had a lot of soldering practice. So how did you guys like it who did it for the first time?
Nice, very nice.
Yeah?
Very marvelous.
Nice. What about you? What do you think?
It's easy.
Easy? What about you? Is it fun? not so difficult, yeah. What about yourself? How'd you like it?
I think once you get your technique,
Yeah,
right,
exactly.
it should be easy enough.
It should be easy enough after that, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, okay, so we good to move on?
Yep.
Let's move on, guys. Let's get back to our seats.
As the name suggests, electronic speed controllers. They are connected on the base of the wings over here. And usually they are used, first they are connected with the power distribution board. Then the ESCs are directly connected to the motors. So for example, if the drone is flying and I want to move the drone on the right side, what's going to happen? Electronic speed controller is going to minimize the speed, so the fans on this side, they are going to be slow. So they are going to be tilted a little bit over here, and the fan, because it's not like they all have the same speed. What we are doing with these, we are just like limiting the speed. We are minimizing the speed. So it's going to tilt and going to move over here. That's the only purpose of this electronic speed controllers. And we usually use these in the quadcopters, not in any other copters. All right. I'll just change the slides.
How can this control the speed?
Sorry?
How can this control the speed?
All right.
Change the voltage or the...
Exactly.
Oh,
Because the power distribution board, what's the job of the power distribution board? It's like providing power to everything. Then the ESCs are connected to the power distribution board. So they are changing the voltages, the power. By this, the voltage or the power giving, like provided to the fan, it's changing. So when low power is like provided to the fan, the speed or the rotation of the propeller is going to be minimized. Yeah.
thank you.
You're welcome. So, and this is the brain of our drone, Pixop. So, as I have already told that it's the brain. So, we program it and all the connections, we are going to do a small activity on this also. So, all the connectors, for example, the ESCs and the RC, the remote controller, the GPS, the buzzers, flight switch, everything is connected to this power board. Pixop. The power distribution board is also connected to this. So it is sending the signals toward every of the component that needs to be done. As I already told that this is the brain of the operations over here. So are we ready for the activity on that? All right. Do you have any question regarding the Pixop? Or anything till yet? Yep.
What sensors does this specific Pixop use?
Sensors, usually we use the GPS, and
Inbuilt, you can think of it as having a sort of an IMU. So what happens is that it knows its direction coupled with the GPS.
Exactly.
So it will know its like orientation. So this, along with the GPS, tells you where the drone is and what direction it's in. Because when you're flying in a three-dimensional space, you kind of want to know how high, low, forward, back, and 3D it is, yaw, pitch, roll, things like that. So that's all coordinated by the Pixhawk itself. But you can also add other things onto it, right? It's not just by itself. You can, the space for the GPS module, there's an inbuilt IMU, there's like telemetry you can put on. There's a lot of things you can add on. There's a lot of things you, like by itself though, it still needs a GPS to figure out where it is in the world. And a bit of stabilization as well. Because let's say you're flying a drone into something, you can make it so that you code it so that it doesn't actually crash into like a wall or whatever, things like that. But additionally, you can also have other sensors on top of it, like an ultrasonic sensor, things like that. I will tell you how far away it is from something. So like starting off, this is very basic.
Just, like,
our
customize
foundation.
it yourself.
Yeah, customize it yourself. You can add more things. You can remove a few things if you want to really hone in on what you're doing, right? Like this remote, this drone in particular, is like RC controlled. So we also have an RC receiver on it. If you want it fully autonomous, you might not need that. You might add other different things. So it really just depends on what purpose you want to build it for, right? So since like we're aiming for like a SUAS competition, they have specific things. So we might have to build our drone, very specifically for that reason. Can you give me a second? Yes.
Yes. Anything else? Any question?
So
yes.
Is the board made by you?
No. It's a custom made.
So during the blueprint that you showed, there was a blueprint, right?
Sorry?
A blueprint.
Yeah, blueprint.
So you said that it wasn't working because all of the propellers were moving in the same direction. The blueprint, not that blueprint.
Yeah.
Blueprint when it like.
Yeah. So the thing is that if all the wings, they are like rotating in one direction, it is not going to cut the wind to just thrust and go up. So it's just going to be acting as a fan. It will
Yeah.
provide you cool air. That's it.
Yeah. So there's some physics involved with this, right, as well. So obviously, if all of your fans are spinning in one direction, what's going to happen is it's just going
It's
to
not
be
gonna lift.
It's going to be a fan. There's going to be no lift off. Some of these fans are rotating in an opposite direction just so we can generate that sort of thrust for the drone.
Exactly.
Yeah, and all these speed controllers are connected to this and then connected to this just so you can also vary the speed. You know, like for example, this part will spin faster, this part will spin slower, then it might just go a certain way. So that's how it's actually controlled.
Yeah.
And which ones need to be in the opposite direction?
It's like one side, like two wings. Alright, I'll turn it like this. So, as you can see, these are like two white ones. They'll fly in the clockwise direction. So these two red ones, they'll fly in an anti-clockwise direction. So it will be stabilized and balanced when they are going to lift off. Anything else? Any questions?
That's diagonal,
Exactly.
same rotation.
Yes.
Yeah.
I have a question too.
Sorry?
What is the blue color arrow?
Where's the blue color arrow? Are you talking about this one?
Ah, the one arrow in the middle. So that actually is just telling you which direction the drone is facing. Because what happens is that
Yes.
obviously you're in a three-dimensional space. So you want to know which is your forward direction.
Exactly.
So that when you pick up a controller, you know where forward is.
Exactly.
You need to have a point of reference for that. So if the drone is rotating or whatever, and this gives it a starting point of reference and it gives yourself a starting point of
Exactly.
reference.
What was your question?
Do we need to do some programming for this?
Exactly. We program it on a software. All right.
Is that like
Alright, first we will do the activity first, the programming and all this stuff.
okay, thank you.
Alright. So again, need volunteers and everyone to come over here. Probably you could just use this table.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's put this up here. So, switch it to.
Either the solstice. Is it still connected? No.
No, you know that there's these many things on it. What you do is you connect this to the computer and you have a software. So what we're using currently is Arduino Pilot Mission Planner. So for that, what we did was we attached this and then we calibrated it. We told it that okay, we have a quadcopter. Then what we did was we sort of gave it the sort of thresholds for our RC, yeah, because you want to tell it, you know, this is the as far away as you can get it, this is back as you can get it. Set up?
Yeah.
Okay, so if you were to look on this side for just 1 sec, this is like the main screen for Arduino Pilot's Mission Planner. So as you can see, there's a few things here. You can have like you can get measurements for its altitude, its speed, distances, yaw, pitch, roll, and this is actually its GPS. Right now, the GPS is telling it's a little bugging out. This happens. Like a lot of things you will have to troubleshoot with the drone is like, you know, if the sky, for example, like there was a good question early on in our presentation that, you know, what happens when it's rainy or like the weather conditions are extreme? That makes things difficult for the drone because it has to figure out where it is in the world first before takeoff. So this makes the GPS right now is probably figuring out where it's at. Right now inside a building, it's having a little bit of trouble picking that up. But yeah, so and the top left, you can see that this is its sort of orientation, right? It'll tell you, like right now it says that it's disarmed. Oh, maybe just connect it from the side top right there. Yeah, just connecting. Yeah, so it's already picking up a few parameters just because it's lying there trying to figure out what's going on. It's disarmed, it's safe. So a big thing in drone flight is that you have a way to disarm your drone and arm your drone, right? It will not fly until all your safety checks are also met. So you need to, so the pilot itself can give it a command to arm it and then fly, or to disarm it and everything. And there's also mechanisms to make it return to its starting position should it go to like a different position and is about to run out of battery or something. So it can come back. So now I'll just walk you through quickly a few points inside this. So takes time. Obviously, the more expensive GPS you have, the better it will be at picking your exact coordinates. Right now, yeah, and less time it's gonna take. So, on to like a quick setup for this. So, I'm not going to be going through the full list of things, but just a quick thing is like you obviously have to, as with all like devices, give it its firmware and everything, install whatever update it needs to do. And then we go on to telling it what sort of hardware is here. So this is where we tell it what frame we're using, yeah? So right now we're using a quadcopter, so I've told it that, okay, we're using this frame in particular, and it has that setting done and dealt with. Then we start tuning a few parameters for ourselves. This is like more in line with battery stuff. Usually the defaults for this are okay. You should be good to not mess around with this. You can if you want to, when you get into the minutia of everything. Now, this one is pretty important because you're calibrating the accelerometer. Like I said, like there's a few things inside the PICSOC itself that may be just the inertial measurement unit. And like obviously picking up how fast it's going, picking up where it is, things like that. This is where you calibrate it. And here we have the compass, right? So before you actually, start to fly, you have a small calibration step, and you don't need to do it again. But what we're going to do is we're going to run you through this calibration step just to show you what it looks like, just to show you what happens when you're trying to orient the drone. And it's lots of fun and hands-on. So what I would like to do is call a volunteer who wants to help me calibrate our drone. Oh, look at that! I love the enthusiasm here. Come on up. Okay, so what we're going to do is gather around, guys. We're rotating it this way. We're going to think of it as if it's in a sphere. And you're just going to be rotating it spherically until it figures out all of its orientations and its positioning, right? I'll bring this closer to you. So just pick it up by the frame as easy as possible. Be mindful of the cable. I'll try to help you manage that, right? Amir, could you just press the start button so that we can start this up?
And it's ready.
There you go. So now, I want you to start moving this around. Yeah, as you guys can see, it's calibrating slowly. So I want you to just keep rotating it as much as you can in the three-dimensional axis. Like just keep
Slowly or quickly?
Slowly is better, but try just rotating it as much as you can in like as many different axes as you can. So like this way, that way. Imagine it's like in a hamster ball. So it's just rotating. Like give it a go this way. It's trying to figure everything out.
There is an axis I'm missing.
You'll get there, it's okay. That Mag 3 is actually not telling you an axis, that's in case there's another sensor on it, which we don't have. So this one should just calibrate soon enough. Yeah, you can make it backwards, upside down. It needs to know if it's the right position. So that's one part done, now the other part is still going. Just keep going, just keep rotating it. Try to get it that way as well. Yeah, that's the way, easy does it. Uh-oh, a GPS, it's okay.
That's all right.
No worries, this is just something that happens, like expect the unexpected and just be prepared to deal with it in, as smooth a manner as you can.
Yes.
So here we go. Yeah, just keep rotating it. Try this way towards my side. Yeah. There we go. Beep, beep, beep. And we are done with the calibration. Simple as that.
So why doesn't the GPS do that?
The GPS needs to understand what it's coordinating with, right? Because right now I've hooked it onto the PICSOC, but now it needs to figure everything out, right? Like, okay, I am on this drone, this is what it doesn't know anything by itself,
Exactly.
so we need to tell it.
It's like a baby.
Yeah.
We have to teach it.
Yeah, it's like the phones sometimes. You might have done like the gyroscopic calibration on your phones, right? You can think of it as something similar. Who else wants to try it? Just a little bit of rotation just for fun. Yeah, come on out. Yeah.
Just give me a
So
sec.
this calibrates the data from the GPS or from here?
From here, from the PICSOC. So the GPS is calibrated separately, but right now I think it is just dealing with, actually both. It's dealing with both right now. And in terms, I'm not entirely sure if it has a separate module for it, but it is calibrating the gyroscope for sure, along with the GPS.
Yep.
So we just keep rotating.
Yeah.
Bring it a little this way. Yeah. Bring it a little that way, like towards yourself. No.
Like this.
Like this. Like, are you okay? There we go. Yeah, just like this. It's a bit tricky. Sometimes you want two hands on it. Simple. It's all right.
Almost done.
Almost there.
Almost there.
There we go. The main hiccup is right now we have a cable connected to it, so it's kind of a bit awkward to do so.
Can you use the air tag from the GPS?
Pardon?
Air tag.
An air?
Yes.
You might be able to. You might be able to do that. It's a more expensive option, but you might be able to do that.
Done.
Okay. So there we go. All right. So anybody else want to give it a go? Just a little bit of fun putting the drone around. Anyone? Don't be shy. It's all right.
Yes, it's more fun.
It's kind of fun just to rotating around, getting a feel of the drone as well.
What is the
You wanna
drone original name?
Yes, come
What
please.
is the how many names in drone?
There's so many names for drones. There's no original name. There's like you could say that this is
Alright,
a
just give me
drone.
one sec
Then you could
and
say it's a
we can pick it
quadcopter.
up.
Then you could say it's a DroneDio's drone. You could give it as many names as you want. But the simple, yeah, the most simple way to identify this thing is as a quadcopter. There we go.
Drones come under a category known as something as UAVs, unmanned aerial vehicles. In that, anything that flies which doesn't have a pilot is counted as UAV, and drones are a part of UAV.
You're an expert. Okay. Yeah. Okay, guys. So we have a little activity for you guys while we have our man rotating here. We have a hashtag that was on your tables. So what I want is for the first person who uploads a video using our hashtag on social media, we have a small prize. So if anybody wants to take a picture of this, upload to social media, our team is monitoring this right now. So the fastest person to do so will get a prize.
It could be stories, it could be, make sure your account is not private, so you would lose definitely. It could be stories, it could be posts, just hashtag whatever it is, I won't say it. I'm not making it easier for you. It will be reposted, who will be the fastest one? Yes, yep. First. And for the prize? Not for the members, sorry.
There we go.
Perfect.
Done. So, for our social media activity, come on, quickly. I want you guys to upload some video. You can take a picture of the drone, you can take a selfie, use our hashtag. Our social media team is monitoring right now, and then we'll announce who gets the prize.
Yeah, and make sure you guys can post as many stories as you can. They will be reposted on our page.
Exactly.
So it's a good, you can say repost from your side as well.
Yeah, miss, you got it.
You want to slow it down to
Yeah.
increase the voltage or the frequency of the switch?
Yeah.
No, I'm just watching this. I only just got here, so I don't really know what's going on.
Because, for example, if we are connecting, the random thing is that we've got 3 wires from there, 4 wires from here. We connect it in a single and it start rotating on a clockwise. But if we change the direction of the 2, it will become anti-clockwise. That's the solution we find out.
Make sure you use both the hashtags. Whatever you guys are posting, make sure you're using both the hashtags in the post.
Make sure you use the hashtag and
So because we already connected it in a way that these two, these ones are anti-clockwise, these ones are clockwise. For example, I will say, alright, when we're flying, it already knows that it's going to fly anti-clockwise, it's going to already know that it's going to fly clockwise. Like that.
And you can control each motor.
Exactly.
So if you want to tilt it this way,
That's alright.
so if you want to tilt it this way, speed this one up, slow this one down.
It's gonna fall. Because it's not that advanced at the moment, it's a basic one. You know what we could do? We could just like do it yawn. Like it's gonna fly like this and it can like rotate in every direction like this. With a controller. Because of the yawn. Because of the ESC controller. It's like, for example, we are gonna like change the speed of these motors. For example, if we want to like, I've already told, if we want to tilt it, 2 of these motors are going to speed like, what do you say, slow down, so it's going to tilt like this. For that, we're going to move these 2. So these 2 are going to be like almost off, these 2 are going to fly, so it's going to be moved like this. It's going to rotate in its own axis.
You haven't received anything yet?
But these two
1 minute.
are on.
It will do like this. If the diagonal ones are like rotating, and these 2 are diagonally are closed, so it is going to rotate in its own axis. You got it now? It's a little bit confusing, but when you fly it, all the confusions are going to be gone.
Any one of these.
And it's pretty fun. It's like,
How can this go up? Go down, go down. How can this go down? Lower the speed.
exactly, lower the speed of the motors. First, we're gonna like do the full thrust. It's going to be like full power of the motors. It's gonna like lift up. Then for them to like land down, we're gonna like slowly control the speed slowly down. And it has a mechanism of the like jumping and like landing, just like a helicopter. It's gonna like
It automatically slows down unless it's about to hit something.
you have to program it for that. Do that. At the moment, like for example, if this hasn't done the programming of that thing, but we are like controlling it of our own. But when we are making an autonomous system, it's gonna do automatically everything on its own. It's going to be programmed.
So it's just a prototype from now?
Exactly. It's not a prototype. It's just like you can say. It's kind of a hobby. We want to make a drone. So say, why not?
In making your own drone.
Members are requested to settle down as well.
Yeah, we'll settle down. All right. Okay. Next. Okay. So, before we move on to some of our activities, what I wanted to announce is that we will be passing an attendance sheet. We need your names for your certificates that you will be receiving today for participating in our workshop. Yeah, yeah. You guys can use this as proof that you visited a technical workshop. It'll be good for your LinkedIn. Yes. Now we're going to move up. It's okay. You're right. So, moving on. We have a few small activities to get through. So, on your tables, you might have a little crossword puzzle. So, if you could just solve that crossword puzzle and submit it to the team, just be going over it, and the fastest one will get a small prize for it. And it's a very easy crossword puzzle. All it is everything you've learned today, minus Dr. Narmalan's lecture, because that was too detailed. So, we're just going to be going over the smaller things, and we'll also be taking this time to fill out our learning sheet, right? So after all of this, everything that you've learned, just fill it out. Then it'll be easy to reflect on what you've learned so far in the workshop today. So you've also learned, about how the drone is built foundationally. You've learned a little bit about how to calibrate it, program it. You've learned a little bit of soldering.
Those who haven't got their crossword, just raise your hand quickly. Thank you.
Yeah, so we're just going to be sorting out a few of these administrative things.
Thank you. I think some of the people don't have the pens.
If anybody needs anything, a pen, a paper, please let a team member know. They have tags on and they're everywhere. Crossword, we'll just check that out, but don't lose hope yet. Somebody maybe he's wrong.
I finished.
Oh, we have another one who's finished there. You've learned about a drone. Yeah? Whoops. Gotta keep them. So, quick overview. We have our quadcopter drone here. It has the frame that forms the structural body of the drone. It has a power distribution board that distributes the power throughout the drone. It has motors and propellers to enable its flight. The brain of the drone, Pixhawk, is right in the middle. The GPS allows for stabilization and helps tell it where it is in the world. And then you have obviously the space for the battery, and that is just about it. Oh, and the ESCs to control the speed of your motors. Yeah, so this is just the foundational drone, and you can go further beyond from there and make even more complex drones, just like the ones Dr. Narmalan showed you, and just like the ones you've seen commercially available. So, feel free to fill that in your learning sheet. We'd be happy for you to take away that knowledge. I'll give you just 2 minutes to do that before we move on to our next activity. Just 2 minutes. We're going to have a little group activity. So everybody on your table is your group mate for this one. So, presentation of the slides. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be giving you a couple of questions which I want you guys to answer for me. And we just want to see how much you know so far. This isn't like we're not going to be, marking you or anything. We want to see what you know and then give you the answers for this, just so you have more information, right? So everybody on your table is your group mate. So could anybody tell me what does a UAV stand for? Oh, at the back? What vehicle? You're close, you're close. Anybody else? Yeah?
Unmanned aerial vehicle.
That's right, yeah. A drone is
Unmanned.
an unmanned aerial vehicle.
Make sure you guys remember your points. So teams, whatever you have.
Well, that's good. Alright, can we get an official scorekeeper here somewhere? Okay, you guys have 1 point. Don't tell me you have 10 afterwards, yeah? Okay.
I'm keeping point keepers.
Yeah, we have a scorekeeper. Alright, so how many propellers does a quadcopter have? I wonder. You got your opportunity. I will get you. 4. Yeah, we have a visual aid here. A quadcopter has 4, as the name quad implies. Yeah, simple. Okay.
I should ask the groups because all the geniuses are sitting over there.
Maybe. I'm going to get a few more groups to interact. Oh, we got a little tougher question. So we'll ask these guys here with the most heads in the middle. What do you guys think? What is the maximum weight limit for drones? Like, typically it requires registration. Like, at what point do you think a drone is so heavy that you need to register it? What do you guys think? Have a little round table conference real quick. What are we thinking?
I'll just go to you. 250 grams.
Oh yeah, he got here and he knows the answer right off the bat. Yeah, 250 grams. After 250 grams, you need to register your drone. Yeah, you need to register your drone after that, right? Okay, so that's pretty cool. I think you registered with CASA. Alright, next up we have, what is the purpose of the return to home feature? So it might be very intuitive as to what a return to home feature do. What about you guys at the back? What do you guys think a return to home feature does? It's alright, any answer is a fine answer.
You can brainstorm ideas, think and an answer.
Yeah, what do you guys think? We'll clue you in. Pardon?
So does it get lost?
Close. Any other guesses? Anybody else?
Brings back the phone when it's out of battery overload.
Ah, there we have it, yeah. So when the drone is running low on battery, or when it's, like maybe it's a little lost, but mostly when it's running low on battery, it needs to come back. That's when the pilot controlling it loses control and the drone says, I don't have enough battery to continue doing what I was doing. I'm going to go back to my home position. Okay, so the next question. Alright, so what is the significance of a GPS in drone navigation for precision flight? And this will be our last question right now. So what do you think the significance of GPS is? Obviously, there are many things it can do, but I just want to hear it from you guys. What do you guys think?
To track the location.
Yeah, location is one of the main reasons. Like, main significant reasons to have a GPS, but what else could it also be? What else does it do?
Surrounding the world.
Surrounding the world. I mean, it does figure out where it is in the world. And what did you say? Coordination?
Coordinate the orientation of the drone as well.
Close. The coordinating the orientation is part of it, as you saw when we calibrated it. Yeah. One more. Yeah, you at the back.
To know what's the weather condition in your area, so you would know is it safe or not to fly.
Exactly. Yeah, that's also another one. Yeah, we have many different good answers here. I'd like one more answer. One more answer from the crowd. Anybody?
Maybe to be in the allowed area and not allowed area.
Can be a part of it. Restricted areas, it's important to know where you're flying, right? You can't fly near other places. Oh, you at the back, yeah.
How many of you have played Minecraft? That's the best suggestion for you guys.
Minecraft players? Any Minecraft players?
Minecraft players? On the map, whatever you used to see, that's the answer.
It's the house.
It's the Minecraft house? My Minecraft house is just a dirt block. Alright, so, well, all of you are right in your own way. All of these things are important. Their location, altitude, speed, precise navigation.
It's the coordinates.
The coordinates, yeah. Getting to know your coordinates are very important. So, that was our last question, and I hope you guys learned something more from that. Oh, we have a more? Yeah. Okay, we have time for more. We have time for more. So, what do you think a gimbal does in drone photography? Oh, you? Oh, yeah, stabilization, yeah. But can somebody be more specific? What does the gimbal do? Does anyone know what a gimbal is?
Maintain consistency?
Yes, yes. I'm looking for a specific word, but you're kind of there. You're kind of there. So has anybody ever seen that video of a person like moving around a chicken, but its head remains in the same place? Yeah?
Stabilizing.
Yeah, go on. What do you think?
Geoscope?
A what?
I forgot it's geoscope or something.
Close. Yeah, it's basically that when you have your drone, right, as we saw that it's moving in a three-dimensional space, but if you're doing photography, that can be tough, right, to keep it on one shot. So that's what it does. It's sort of, like, yeah, it stabilizes the camera so that ensures that when you're moving, you have a steady footage. It's in one place while your drone moves, so it'll be able to, keep in one place despite the drone's orientation. So this is for mostly for photography and for taking videos. All right. Very good. Okay. Yeah. So now we're getting on to our surprise activity. So we're going to move on to our surprise activity. Whoa. For this section, I want you guys to all get your phones ready, because what we're going to be doing is we're going to be having a creative sort of photo competition. What I want you to do is take the most creative photo you can throughout this workshop, and for that reason, we're going to be providing you with one of the best opportunities for that photo. Yeah? So what I want you guys to do for me is, like, we're going to do a little countdown, right? We're going to count down from 10, and then something special is going to happen. Yeah. So, are you ready for the countdown? Don't make me count down by myself, right? It's going to be very embarrassing for me. Okay, are you ready? 10, 9, come on, count down. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Here it comes. Right in. Take your phones out, take a photo, and get some creative angles for this video. Come on, take a photo. The most creative photo gets a prize. This is a DJI drone. A pretty stable and popular commercial drone.
Why is it not robot drone?
It is a robot. It's not a robot. Get some wide shots. Get a nice creative photo for us. And the best one that our team member finds gets a prize. Drone here is piloted
You
by
can
our
come forward if
expert
you want.
navigator.
No, stay seated, sorry. I just need to stay. Okay.
Here we go. Don't get too close. We have to still follow CASA guidelines.
That's true.
Alright. That's good. Can we get a little round of applause for our expert navigator and President Mustafa? Yeah!
Salute!
Alright. Let's land that drone. So that was one of the cool drones our club has. It's DJI drone. It's very stable. It's one of the commercial drones. And it's very easy and intuitive to pilot. So when we have a flight demo, you guys will get a chance to control it. Yeah, it's one of the more easier ones to control. So you guys will see how smooth it actually is in action. Okay, and still have some time. One sec. let's just wrap up our questions. All right. So, as you saw, this drone just came in, right? Easy, nice, and smooth through the door, expertly navigated. But this highlights, like, why is it important to have obstacle avoidance systems in our drones, right? Like, if this drone came in here, what could have happened had it not had a nice obstacle sort of detection system, right? If it couldn't tell what was nearby. Anybody have a guess? Pardon? Yeah, that's one of them, yeah. Anybody have a guess? You, young man, do you have a guess? Why should a drone know where it's at?
It could crash into like a pole.
Amazing, yeah. Your drone could just crash into a pole if it doesn't know what's in front of it, right? So if you have an autonomous drone, you don't want it to crash into a drone or another drone or into a tree or wherever. It needs to know where it is. Good job. Yeah, a little round of applause for the young man. All right. Yeah, ensures it can navigate safely in complex environments and it doesn't crash into anything. All right. So, this one's a little bit more technical. In a drone mission requiring autonomous navigation, how can integrating machine learning improve task efficiency? So, when it requires, navigation without a pilot, how can we integrate machine learning to improve its efficiency? A bit more technical, but give it your best shot.
You can discuss in your groups.
Discuss with everybody around you on your table. What do you guys think the answer could be? What do you guys think? Have a little guess. Have a little chit chat. Get to know everybody around you.
Terror in the dark. You're there in the dark.
We're here to learn, so no answer is wrong.
Yes.
I mean, it might be technically wrong, but then you're going to get the right answer. That's going to be fine. That's how learning works. Yeah, you.
So you can do all the simulations with drone and machine learning can try all of these different ones and find optimal path to
Yeah. Yeah, that's one of the things. You can plan out in advance if it knows its path, and you can implement algorithms to make it go along that path more efficiently. Yeah, that's a good answer. Anybody else have anything they want to say? Yeah?
It gets perfect.
Yeah, so if you have a lot of data, it will analyze that data and improve itself over time. It will become more efficient over time. Anybody else? Any more answers? Any more answers? Okay, yeah. Yeah, so machine learning can enable the drone to analyze real-time data, just like somebody pointed out right there. It can adapt to its environment if it knows we have the data points. It can move autonomously through those more efficiently. Depends on the data you have, the data sets you're working with, and the tasks that it does have. Okay. And that wraps it up for questions. So we have about 15 minutes before we move into lunch. So just take this time, wash your hands, and we will have our lunch on the left-hand side. We'll have our tables there. We're going to have some of the best pizzas in Wollongong. And correct submission, our prize goes to Matthew S. Matthew S. Here we are. Little round of applause for Matthew. Here's a small gift for you, Matthew. You just come up here. Token of appreciation, you can share with your mates. A little bit of a treat, some cookies for you. There you go, Matthew.
Thank you.
All right. As you all know, we had a little social media competition. So, if all of you guys could just show me your post so that we can just check who has it first, because they haven't come up yet. Oh yeah. All right. Come on. Yeah. Just one quick photo. So if you guys have posted, please come up so we can just check your timings. Timing. Awesome. Do you have the timing for that? That's all right. Awesome. It's okay.
good. It's fine.
Alright, so for the first question, social media first, can I have your name, sir? Did you get your name?
Andrew.
Andrew. Can you give a round of applause for Andrew? Come on up here, Andrew. Small token of appreciation. Some cookies to share, enjoy. Get a picture of man?
Yeah.
Thank you, Andrew. Alright guys, so before we head on out for our flight demo, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be distributing the certificates. So if you just please collect them from the back. We have your names. Oh wait, actually we'll be announcing, we'll be calling you up. So then you can just take your certificates. You'll have a physical certificate to collect today for your participation in our workshop. Just let us know if we've missed anybody out. Alright. So, okay. So, could I get Imran up? Imran? Yep. Come on up, Imran. Alright. Come on. Thank you for your participation, Imran. Okay, Rian will leave you. You can just stand.
Yeah. If I,
Yeah.
you can present the certificates.
Right. Imran, you want?
I'll take a picture.
Lovely. Thank you, Imran. Next up we have Ridwan. Ridwan?
अच्छा मैं दे दूँगा आपको सर्टिफिकेट
Thank you, Ridwan. Next up is McGinnis Justin. Come on up, Justin. Next up we have Ahmed Nasser. Ahmed Nasser, could you come on up? Next up we have Ushna Ali. I think Ushna might not be with us right now, so we'll hang on to that. Next up is Ree Bang. Come on up, Ree. Alright, next up is Tyler Cable. Come on up, Tyler. Alright, next up, Nafis. Come on up. Photo for Nafis there. Extra photography. Awesome. Thank you. Next up, Muhammad Hussain. Muhammad Hussain, come up. Lovely. Next up, here we have Abdullah Hashim. Abdullah Hashim? Oh, it's alright, we'll move on. Next up we have Sainat Nala. Sainat Nala? Oh, not here, that's alright. Next we have Muhammad Nabil Rafiq. Muhammad Nabil Rafiq, come on up. Next up, Abdul Rahman Shata. Abdul Rahman Shata, come on up. Next, could I get on the stage Sharat Taha? Come on up. Next up on stage, can I get Andrew? Come on up, Andrew.
He's our new member as well.
Next up, could I get Matthew on stage? Matthew, come on up. All right, thank you. Next up, could I get Chrysanthemurthy? Did I pronounce that right? Chrysanthemurthy. Not here? Arjun. Okay, not here yet. That's all right. Next up, could I get Logic Kanan? Logic Kanan? Not here. All right. Yep, and that is it for the certificate. Did anybody not get it? Is there any participant who has not received a certificate? All right. Now we can move on. And I would like to call on Emma. Come on up, Emma. We're also receiving a certificate. Come on up, Mustafa. Give Emma the certificate. Just here for a sec in the shade, and we'll be getting your hands on the DJI drone to fly it for a little bit, and assisted by our team members. We'll also be flying our in-house drone, so look forward to that. And then after that, we will be wrapping up this workshop. But before we step on outside, Omer, could you just pull up the next slide after this to start joining? If anybody has not done so yet, I would like to thank you all for your time today. Please stay informed. Check our socials, and the next time we will see you after the flight demo is in O weeks, so stay tuned for that. If you have any questions, please ask any team member here, and if you want to join, I highly encourage you to do so and just scan this QR code. Thank you. Now, we'll move on outside for our flight demo. And as for the DJI drone, we get some members to help you out. You get to fly it a little bit and we'll see how stable it is. So form a nice orderly line, and we'll get you all one at a time to try out the drone. How's that sound?
So because you have to see as well, you could be like an audience form. You can make a circle, and then one by one in a sequence we can go around.
Yeah.
How does that sound?
Let's make a circle.
So you guys can start from here. So now let's lower it down. So this is the maneuver. Perfect. I'd like to go to the right side. Slowly. Yeah, slowly. Wow, very good. Very good stabilization. No worries. All right, everyone, give a huge round of applause for Emma. Great. Now we have Andrew. This goes down, this is how you go up, and this is going forward, backward, backward. We're just testing. That's forward and backward. So very light on it. That's side to side. Someone give a hand. That's all.